Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. For today's episode, I have Neil back on the channel. It's been a while. Neil and I made East and West prediction before the NBA season started. And today, the NBA season officially ended. And so for this episode, Neil, I want to go back and look to see what picks we both made for the East and West. And for this episode, let's focus on the West. And part 2, we'll do the East. So let's see how accurate our predictions were or how horrible our predictions were. And also for the second part of this episode, Neil, I want to talk about our playoff predictions. Maybe we both selected the team coming out of the East and the West, and we both predicted an NBA champion. So we know a lot has changed, obviously, during this NBA season, and the landscape has completely changed. So maybe if we want to alter that, we can get that opportunity today. But anyway, how are you doing today, man?
I'm great, but like you said, lots of things happened, especially in the West. So we might have to revisit what we thought earlier. It's going to be interesting to kind of break this down.
Yeah, I mean, a lot happened in the East as well, especially to my team specifically. But I'm going to share my screen. So let's look at the NBA standings. We won't look at the playoff bracket yet. So I'm pulling this up first, which is not this season's standings, but last season's, right? So this is the East. Let's do the West, like I said first, right? So I don't want people to think we're completely crazy when we go over our picks, right, based on this year's standings. So we obviously picked the teams before the regular season started, right? So we took into consideration how the teams played last season, how the season ended last year, who won last year, right? So just as a refresher, the Thunder were number 1, just like they were this season. You can see the Nuggets were 2, T-Wolves 3, Clippers 4, Mavs 5, Phoenix 6, right? Phoenix, that's a whole different story. They didn't even make the play-in, which is just pathetic. Number 7, we had the Lakers, and number 8, we had the Pelicans, who were just completely depleted. Obviously, Zion, in my opinion, is basically a bust because he can never stay on the court. Traded Brandon Ingram. So that is what the landscape looked like the season before, right? So you might think Neil and I are crazy, but I wanted to preface this that, like, look, the Pelicans made it, the Suns made it. Obviously, those teams are out. So, all right, Neil, let's look at who you picked in the West for number 1, and let me actually switch now to this season. So here's the updated standings as the season ended today, Neil. And so number 1, Neil and I both picked actually, no, this is wrong. Sorry. Neil picked the Denver Nuggets, okay? So Neil picked the Nuggets. They were actually 4th this year, but as you can see, literally 3 through 5 have the same record, right? Yep. And literally the 8th seed Memphis Grizzlies were only like 2 games back from the 3rd seed. So insanely competitive, but Neil picked the Nuggets. I picked the freaking Timberwolves. Again, the T-Wolves were number 3 last season. So I picked the T-Wolves. Obviously, that is not even close. They're number 6. So I thought that was interesting. We both picked the Thunder for number 2, so we weren't too far off in that sense, since the Thunder finished number 1. Number 3, Neil picked the Wolves, and I picked the Nuggets. So I was close in that sense. Number 4, this is where it gets a little interesting, and there's a few teams that we left out, Neil, which we'll obviously go over. But for number 4, Neil picked the Mavs, and yeah, you can't blame him on that one.
They have Luka, so
they had Luka, Kyrie, and this is like after Lively had a good rookie year, right? And they had Gafford. So yeah, he picked the Mavs. We obviously know what happened. the stupidest, most rigged trade in NBA history. So you can't fault you on that one. Memphis, I picked the Grizzlies.
This is actually a good pick in hindsight. I mean, I feel like Memphis was in that position. They finished 2 games out of 4th.
And they were in that position last week, 2 weeks ago, when they fired their coach, and they were 4th. So it's like a lot has changed this season, which is like insane, right? With firings and trades, especially in the West. So yeah, the Grizzlies were the 4th seed, even the number 2 seed throughout the season for a good.
I feel like 3/4 of the season, Memphis was killing it, and then they really had a big slump, and then they decided to fire their coach, and now their record says they're good, but I don't give them any kind of shot to have any success in the playoffs, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, so this one's interesting. Number 5, Neil and I both picked the Suns, and as you can see, the Suns were eliminated.
No excuses for that one.
I mean,
Phoenix is just bad. What else can you say?
Yeah, I mean, Bradley Beal, worst contract. Maybe Joel Embiid or Paul George might be worse because at least like Beal's had an injury history, but at least he's like playing the last few years, right? Like Embiid is just always cooked. But anyway, like Kevin Durant didn't miss a lot of games. I know he hurt his ankle late, like in the season, but you have Booker and Durant. Like, come on, like I can't believe they didn't even make the play-in, like at the 10th seed. That's embarrassing that they fell. Who they fall behind? They fell behind the Kings and the Mavericks, who literally traded Luka mid-season. And the kicker is AD got hurt game 1. Right?
The Mavericks are a joke. The Kings are not good. Like, there's no excuse for that. But since Phoenix didn't even make the playoffs, we should probably just hash out what we think about the Suns right now. So how much of this is on like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker at this point?
I mean, it's on the coaching too, I think, like just roster construction.
They had Vogel, they had Budenholzer this year. It's like every single year they're getting a new coach. Nothing's changing. So when does the responsibility go to your 2 alleged superstars who are like on paper, they're good, right? You got Booker doing his thing. Kevin Durant probably is all NBA if he met the requirement. I know they have requirements now. You got to play 65 games or whatever it is. I'm not sure if he made that requirement, but at what point does that blame start to shift over? Because based on what I've been seeing, Kevin Durant is not going to be on the Suns next year, and I think everybody understands that. But is he still that guy? I don't know.
Number 1.
What do you think about that?
He's not number 1. He's old. He's going to be like 37 next year, but he's still one of the best scorers of all time. He averaged like 26, 27 points a game, still shooting 43 or 42% from 3. Like, he's still the sniper, but he can't be the number 1 option. And he clearly is that over Devin Booker. Like, I think Devin Booker could be a number 1 option, perhaps, but like you need a really good number 2 and 3. And apparently Beal can't be that 3. I think him and Durant could be that 1 and 2. Like, put a versatile big like a DeMontis Sabonis next to them, or a Bam Adebayo type of big who's like can facilitate, who could rebound. Maybe not DeMontis with his defense, I guess. Like a Bam Adebayo, that would be kind of perfect, right? Like imagine Bam playing with KD and Booker. I think then that could be a fit. Like I hope to God that would never happen, but someone like that could fit in, right? But you blame their 3. You blame Beal for not living up to his contract. Right? He's not like 50 years old. He's 31 years old. Like he should be young enough, like to contribute. And yeah, I mean, Booker's not clearly good enough. KD's old. Like he got injured. Like I think it's just, you blame your best players, right? And you blame your all-stars. Starts with Booker, I think, because he's the one in his like prime. And he's younger, and it's been his team, and he's had success. So, and he's played good though, right? So you can't just blame it on him completely. So that's why I was saying it's organization, it's roster construction, it's coaching, it's all that shit. So
Booker and Durant both had good stats on paper, but look where that took the Suns. So that's why I'm saying to you, if you are trying to acquire Kevin Durant and you want to give up any kind of assets to the Suns in a trade to get him, it could be a Damian Lillard situation where Milwaukee thought they got the person they needed to take them over the top to pair with Giannis, and it just doesn't work out that way. And I could easily see a situation where there's a team that's close to contending that feels like Kevin Durant could take them over the top, but it actually won't, because the same problem that happened with Milwaukee. It like Kevin Durant will get stats, but it's almost like empty calories where it's not really going to help you become a championship contender. That's the way I look at it, at least, because for all intents and purposes, it seems like Kevin Durant is not going to be on the Suns next year, and someone is going to try to make a move to acquire him, and they're going to feel like they're a championship contender, where I don't necessarily think that's the case.
Yeah, enough with the Suns. Boring.
We spent way too much time on a team that's not even the play-in.
Exactly. So screw them. Number 6, you went with Houston, which was a good pick technically, even though they even overachieved even more. And I picked the Mavs again, assuming they had Luka, Kyrie. They were in the finals the year before. So you picking Houston was great. I can't believe they're number 2. That's a huge leap for them. They were 10th or 11th, right? Did they not make the play-in last year? They missed the play-in, right? They were 11th.
Not in the play-in. The interesting thing about Houston, it's almost a situation where teams want to get the 7 seed, so they play Houston in the first round. So that's going to be a first-round matchup that I'm really interested in seeing. So either Golden State or Memphis is going to get Houston in the first round.
Yeah.
And if it's Golden State, everyone is going to pick Golden State to beat Houston in the first round. So that's going to be a very interesting first-round matchup. Because personally, I think Memphis is cooked. So it's probably going to be Golden State, Houston, if I had to guess personally. I don't know if you agree with that. And every single person is going to be picking Houston to lose in that first round against Golden State. So,
yeah, I mean, they lack experience. I mean, outside of a couple players, right? Van Fleet obviously is a champion, but they're a young team, so we'll see.
We're going in the right direction. That's all. No one can argue that Houston's going in the right direction.
No, definitely not. All right, so Neil, with his horrible pick at number 7, picked the Kings, and I picked the Warriors. Hey, I got one right officially. I think I'm the only one who got one right? So far, I think we've got every single one.
That's pretty tough. But Kings in the play-in, I had that right.
No, you had Kings at number 7,
and they're in number 9.
Yeah, but you picked them as the 7th seed, so you're wrong. I'm saying
I had them in the play-in.
I guess. Yeah, you're right. I'm not thinking of it from that perspective. Yeah, 7 through 9 is not, or 7 through 10 is not good anymore, I guess, right? So that's a good point. Who do we have next? So 8th, you picked the Warriors, and I picked the Rockets. So we both picked the Rockets to make the playoffs. Technically, they haven't made it yet. Or I guess, yes, the Rockets obviously did. Excuse me. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs, I guess, based on my seeding, right? Because I picked them in the play-in. So they obviously exceeded my expectations. But, yeah, so who was 8th? Memphis, right? So, or not Memphis. Is it Minnesota or Memphis? Oh, it is Memphis. Okay, so it is Memphis. So we were both – so we were – I don't know if I got any correct, like in the actual seed, except for the Warriors. Did you get any correct? No, I think you got none. Technically, like in the right spot, right?
Anybody, but like I picked OKC to win the West.
You did. So did I.
I thought Denver would have more regular season success than they actually did. I thought they would do better, but OKC was a lot better during the regular season than I expected. They almost won 70 games this year. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's insane. And Chet Holmgren missed quite a few games, right? Didn't he miss like at least 20, 30 games this season?
Yeah,
maybe more?
He missed a lot of time this year.
Per usual, starting to become a trend in his young career. All right, so yeah, Neil and I didn't do good technically. But we also, very interestingly, Neil didn't have Memphis in his lineup, basically, 1 through 8. And he also didn't have the Lakers, and neither did I. So as you could see, the Lakers finished 3rd, and they played really well, overachieved, played decently well before the trade. I don't know what their record has been since they've got Luka. Do you know by any chance? Like, they're obviously a lot better, right?
Well, this is what I will say. I don't know what it was when they got Luka, but I feel like they were trending towards a top 6 spot before they traded for Luka.
Yeah, they were doing fine. Like, AD was playing great. Like, obviously, at the beginning of the year, he was averaging like 30 points a game for the first.
Seems like JJ Redick was resonating.
Right.
To some degree. So you got to give them credit. And then bringing in Luka just kind of took the entire energy of the franchise over the top.
Yeah, completely. All right, so let's look at the brackets real quick and we'll close out just by doing our predictions. So 9 and 10, we got Kings and Mavs. Who do you got in that game?
I got to go Kings. I just am selling everything Mavs. That simple. I don't think the Kings are good. They're the home team, and I don't want anything to do with the Mavs. So
I think, yeah, you got to go Kings. They still have some decent players. They got DeMar and they got Zach LaVine. I don't know why they brought them back together. It didn't look good in Chicago. Now they're older. But, hey, they got their guy in Zach LaVine, I guess, and, they have an opportunity to make the playoffs. But I think they do win that game, too. So 7-8, I think we both picked the Warriors. Yeah. I picked the Warriors, obviously, because obviously you know who's on that team now, who's going to elevate them. So
yeah,
it's one game though. Like, I mean, Memphis is a good team still. They still have Ja. If Triple J's back in action, healthy, they have him and Bane. Like, they're still a solid squad. But and that's a beauty of these one game single elimination type. Or actually, it's not a single elimination because the Warriors are 7, so they would have another chance.
7-8 would not be a single elimination, but
right.
The interesting thing is we both have the Kings, and then we both have the Warriors. So then the follow-up game,
Warriors,
Grizzlies, Kings for the
Grizzlies. Right, yeah.
That's actually interesting.
I go Grizzlies. You can pick your team. What's your thought process? I would say Grizzlies beat the Kings.
Yeah, so Grizzlies would be at home. I think that matters. And the Kings, like I mentioned earlier, not overly impressed with them. So I would probably have to go with the Grizzlies also. And the Thunder would love that 1-8 matchup. So
yeah, and we obviously both picked the Thunder there. So 4 or 5, who you got, Clippers or Nuggets? That's an interesting matchup now. The Warriors. The Clippers have been so hot of late, like in the last month. And
yeah.
Kawhi's back. Kawhi seems healthy at the right time finally, right? Back, and Harden's been playing great. Unlocking Zubac, making him look like a star center, So they got like a good trio. Norm Powell kind of, came back to life or down to earth, but that's because Kawhi is getting, more usage now that he's healthy, right? So, but they still have Norman Powell who can, go off as well. So they're a solid team, man. I don't know. Like, you go first. I don't know. I don't really know.
So quick tangent that I got to mention. So if we got Thunder Grizzlies, we feel like that's a knockout for the Thunder, right? But these other 3 series in the West, if it's Nuggets, Clippers, Lakers, Timberwolves, and Rockets, Warriors, those are 3 legitimately compelling series we got on our hands. So we'll start with Nuggets, Clippers. This is tough. This is really tough. I think coaching has to matter, but then at the same time, Kawhi cannot be trusted. So it's like
health-wise, you mean
it's like 2 opposing factors when you're trying to pick these 2 things. So the tiebreaker is that the Nuggets have the best player in the series with Jokic. So I got to go Nuggets, even though the Clippers are red hot right now. I got to give them credit, but best player in the series is Jokic. I'm going to go Nuggets.
Yeah.
It's a 7-game series, easily 7-game series.
Yeah, I'm going to go Nuggets too, just to be quick, just because Joker's the best player still. And Jamal Murray, he's a champion.
That matters. More times than not, having the best player in the series matters. So I'm going to go Nuggets.
Yeah, me too. Who do you got, Lakers and T-Wolves? I'll go first. I got the Lakers, man. I just don't trust the T-Wolves. Like, they just don't look as good with Cat gone. That they stepped up a little bit in the last month of the season, I guess, or whatever it was. But they started off really slow. Ant's great, but he doesn't seem like the best player in the league. Is he better than Luka even right now at this point? I mean, would you rather have Luka or Ant? Like, I probably have Luka at this point. I'd probably take Luka. I take fat Luka, drinking beers, partying. And yeah, I think the Zebras are going to be on the Lakers side, or the ESPN, the NBA. They want those advertising dollars. They want the Lakers to potentially play the Warriors next. That would be big. So I'm going to go Lakers, just because they've been really good. Like, having Luka and LeBron together in the playoffs, and having LeBron, potentially I think obviously he's going to step up because it's the playoffs, right? Like, so he's going to be playing, full throttle, which he seems to still have been doing through this whole season at age 40, which is insane. But I hate the Lakers so much, but I'm still going to pick them. So who do you got?
I agree. Minnesota, if they were playing almost anybody else in a first round series, I would consider them. But Luka and LeBron, how can you expect Anthony Edwards to be able to overcome that? If Anthony Edwards actually did overcome that, that would take him into a new sort of tier in terms of the NBA hierarchy of who the best players in the league are. But I just can't see Minnesota beating the Lakers in a playoff series when they have to deal with Luka and LeBron.
And Reeves has been playing good, even though I don't like him.
Reeves has been playing really good. Yeah.
Don't forget about him. So, Rockets Warriors. Who do you got now? And that's interesting.
I'm going to go with the Warriors here. I think experience is going to matter. I think the Warriors are a flawed team, but in this matchup against this team, I think they can win this series. I see Warriors losing to the Lakers in the next round.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Warriors. Obviously, they got my boy Jimmy Butler now, which is, transformed this Warriors team this season since he got traded in February. So just his presence, like he's been up and down, just like Jimmy has been with the Miami Heat, taking games off, load managing. Then, he gets a game where he scores 30 points like last night or today, actually. But they lost in that game. But before that, he was upping his usage, taking more shots. So he's going to do that in the playoffs. That's playoff Jimmy. So, Steph has a new sidekick. And I think Steph is just still amazing and better than anybody on the Houston Rockets team. So they have the best player. I mean, if Jimmy's right and if he's playing like playoff Jimmy, like at all, like remotely close to playoff Jimmy, then he's the second best player in the series, right? Like, and that's the Warriors have the top two guys. Like, he's going to be more impactful than Sengun and other guys that are still young, on that Rockets team. So
I still expect the Rockets to win at least 2 games in that series, though.
I could see them winning the series also. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible, right? In a 7-game series, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned earlier, all 3 of these series, other than the 1-8 matchup, are really interesting in the West for sure.
Yeah. All right. So Thunder and I guess, do we want to go through this, I guess?
Yeah, we both had the Nuggets, right?
Yeah. So Thunder Nuggets, who do you think? I'm just going to go quick and say Thunder.
Here. I mean, it would take an absolute legendary, epic performance from Jokic for him to carry the Nuggets to beat the Thunder. That's where I'm at.
Here. Okay, to save time on this episode, because we're already at 22 minutes, do you still pick the Thunder winning the playoffs? We don't need to go one by one with the other matchups. Do you think the Thunder actually pull it off, or do you think anybody else can actually?
I think the Lakers have a shot to beat them in the West Finals, personally.
But who do you pick then? So that's your prediction. So you think if the Lakers come out on that side of the bracket, you're saying you think the Lakers beat the Warriors next round?
Yes. Even though the Warriors have had success against the Lakers, I think they just played in LA maybe a couple weeks ago, and Golden State won that game. I think LA would get their shit together to win that series. So it'd be Thunder Lakers in the West Finals. That's really tough because Luka kind of owns the Thunder, as he showed last year. But I'm gonna stay with my preseason prediction, even with all of the change that's happened, and I'm gonna go with the Thunder in the finals. It might be wrong, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Thunder as well. I think it's gonna be Warriors and Thunder.
But okay, so you're picking Warriors over Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pick the Lakers. Screw the Lakers. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think we'll see. Like, the narrative is that Thunder, like, can they do this in the playoffs? Like, they're still young. They haven't proven anything yet. Like, it's just the regular season. But yeah, top seeds win pretty much all the championships. Like, you need to be a top 3 seed to win. Like, you don't win if you're the 4th seed and on. It's happened. A 4 and 6 have won once. Like, you have to be the best team in the regular season typically or one of the best teams in the regular season to win a championship. So I hate that narrative that like they're just like dominating the regular season. Can it translate? Like it probably won't. What a lot of people are saying out there, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're a juggernaut. Like they have an MVP, right? And he has that MVP whistle, which is a factor, right? But he's clutch.
I got opinions about this one for sure.
I mean, it's not even against him because I like him. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like that Harden whistle that he had, like in 2017.
And
like,
it's not going to happen in the playoffs. That's absolutely true.
But you know what I mean? It's weak shit, dude. Like, and it's just like and I like him. Like I hate Harden. You know this. So it's like it's not like that. It's not like because I don't like him. I don't like Shea. I like him a lot actually, but I just think the NBA is soft as hell, and it gets softer and softer, and he gets like these weak ass calls. He's now not being theatrical, but he's playing into it. Obviously, like he's gaming the system. But if you take away his free throws, he's still like averaging like 25 points per game or whatever it is, right? Like or 24 points per game without the free throws. If you take those away completely, how many other players can you say that about in the NBA, right? Like if you take away like 10 free throws, how many points per game was he averaging? Over 30?
Over 30, yeah. So to your point about Harden, the thing that was interesting is he would always choke in the playoffs. He had some really memorable failures in the playoffs for like a decade. So Shea doesn't have that yet. If he did have like a decade of failures, then maybe we could make that comparison to Harden. That's what I would add to what you're saying right now, because what you're saying makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah, he makes 8 free throws a game. So it's like take away 8 from his 32.7. Like he's averaging literally like 34 or 24 points per game, like I was saying, basically, right? Like,
and if he was making 3, he's still averaging 27. 3 is like a normal number or a more normal number. So you're at 27, which is still probably top 5 in the league.
Exactly. So it's like it's not like he's dependent on it. He's just gaming the system.
But the playoffs are going to create a new sort of scrutiny on what he's bringing to the table, right? So when Harden was putting up those kind of stats and it's game 6, crunch time, and he wasn't delivering, he's going to get the choke label. So that could happen to Shea, but I think he has a little bit of time to kind of sort that out.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So we both stuck with the Thunder, even though we were way off in terms of the end of season standings in the West. But
I mean, we didn't get the exact seedings correctly, but we had the general idea of who would be in the mix.
I mean, we left out the Lakers, both of us, and they're number 3 seed, and you left out Memphis completely. So, but I mean, yeah, they're an 8th seed, but again, like 8 through 3, like we're like 2 games apart, right? So
fair.
So it's super competitive, but yeah. So that was okay. So yeah, that's it for this episode, Neil. So we both kept the Thunder. For the next episode, part 2, we'll do a review of who we picked for the Eastern Conference standings, and then we can also look at the bracket on the East side and see who we predict, will win round by round. So anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys.